Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, hope you're having a great day, and welcome to my tier list for the Gul'dan patch in Heroes of the Storm. Now, before we get into this, I want to just establish a couple of things, okay? Because I did say before I'd never make a tier list, because I think they do have some drawbacks. And basically these drawbacks are, this is a general guide, okay? Don't take this as, gospel. Don't take this as something set in stone. These are my opinions, and hopefully they'll be very helpful. But, I might get some of the heroes wrong, and that's okay, because, it's a big game. It's complicated. It won't be perfect, but it's a good general guide. Don't use it to flame people. Don't go like, oh my god, you chose a low tier hero instead of a high tier one. You suck. You could be a bit relaxed about it. Don't worry too much. Also, this will be a tier list for high level play. I'm coming at it from the perspective of, I suppose, Master or Grandmaster, maybe Diamond as well, that sort of region. So yeah, let's get into it. Also, I'm really excited. I'm downloading. Oh, I'm so excited to download Warcraft, and I'm looking at this 5 things can't wait for in Legion. I'm excited for Legion as well. So watch out for some Legion content, World of Warcraft Legion content on the channel in the coming few days as well. But anyway, let's get into this. Here's the plan. We're gonna go through every single hero. I'm gonna place them in a tier. We're going to ignore tiers 4 and 5. I don't care. We're gonna use tier 1, 2, and 3. Basically, tier 2 is average. I think these heroes are just fine. Tier 1 are going to be the heroes that I think are a little bit stronger than average. And then tier 3 are going to be the heroes I think that are a little bit weaker than average. And this is just something I like. I really don't like a 5-tier list. I think it's way too specific. I just like this one just to give you a general idea. So I'll tell you what, let's just hop right into it and let's see. I do recommend as well that you do listen. Like, you can skip to the end and just see the final tier list if you want. But I do recommend that you kind of go through every single hero with me and hear my thoughts, because some heroes, for example, let me just do an example here of the first one. The first hero is going to be Abathur, and Abathur is going to go into tier 3. So that's my lowest tier. A hero who is below average. I think Abathur is difficult to play. He only works in certain compositions, and I just think he doesn't work that well. However, to skip ahead a bit in this, we're going to see Greymane is going to be tier 1 hero. He's absolutely amazing. I think he's probably maybe even the second best hero in tier 1 in the game right now. And Abathur and Greymane combo really well together. So even though Abathur is tier 3, I think, hey, if you're good at Abathur and if you got a Greymane on your team, Abathur jumps up to tier 2, maybe even tier 1 in that specific circumstance. I think he also works well with Jaina, who's also very strong right now. So, if you got those two heroes, he could be good. But apart from that, I think he's rather weak. One thing I'm going to do as well as we go through this is I'll do a first pass, and I'll just stick them all into the tiers. Then I'll rearrange it, and we'll take things from there. So, Anubarak, our first warrior right here. Anubarak is without a shadow of a doubt still tier 1. This guy is absolutely awesome. He really hard counters a lot of the mages. His dampen magic, his natural shielding with his W, his hardened carapace. He is just so tanky against mages, and he brings a lot of natural CC, and he's just very fantastic. Artanis, I think Artanis is unfortunately tier 3. He's warrior. He can be very hard to kill, but he fills a very specific niche, and he can be countered quite well in the draft as well when you see things that are coming. Again, bear in mind that this is for Hero League in particular, where you've got a draft, so you do have the opportunities to counter things. I think Artanis, though, I think he does have a place. I just don't think he's super strong at the moment. Arthas. I'm going to put Arthas in tier 1. I personally really like Arthas. I think Arthas is awesome. He's fantastic as like a bruiser, as a sort of second warrior on your team. He brings good damage. He brings a lot of nice crowd control, and he's very difficult to kill. One of the things I really like about him is that he just provides this bulky front line for your team that lets your ranged damage dealers just get more value, because they've got like, if they've got a double warrior shielding them, then they're so much more free to go and do damage, and it's pretty epic. You see my friends are entering World of Warcraft. The hype is real. But I love Arthas. He can work as a solo warrior as well. I just love this guy, and yeah, I think he's good. Give him a chance, guys. Next up, we've got Azmodan. I'm going to put Azmodan in tier 2. I think Azmodan is fairly average right now. You see, with the new patch, minions are stronger, so all of his pushing is stronger than it was before. However, they also nerfed his globe build. I haven't seen his laser build or his other builds in Hero League right now. I also believe his Q stacking talent, Taste for Blood, is bugged. I think it still is. So I think, maybe even at the moment until that bug is resolved, he might be tier 3. But he's very difficult. He fits in a very specific style of team comp, which is like farm up the Azmodan and then we win the late game. And it can be very powerful. It can be difficult to counter, and I've seen it absolutely wreck some teams. But it's a very specific thing that you need to pull off. So for that reason, I think he's average. You can use him in certain situations, but not everywhere. Next up, we got Brightwing, our first support hero, actually. And I love Brightwing. I think Brightwing is fantastic. She got some buffs, some adjustments to her talent build. I think it's going to be really interesting. All of her level 7 talents are so good. It's going to be the case of, like, can I give up the other ones for cleanse, or do I just pick her? She's a very strong healer when you don't need cleanse in your team. Very, very strong. Also, one of the great things about Brightwing is that she's very good against a lot of the melee assassins. And melee assassins are very powerful in the meta right now. By being able to apply block to her teammates, she protects them from a lot of their damage. She can polymorph melee assassins. They're very vulnerable to being shut down by Brightwing. And yeah, she also brings AoE healing, which is nice against spread damage. She goes into tier 1. I think Brightwing is in a really nice spot. Next up, we have Chen. Chen is interesting as a tank. I do think Chen can be quite strong. He's very powerful against stationary heroes, like, I suppose, Chromie or Jaina or Kel'Thas, the mages, I guess. Also against some supports like Morales or Malfurion. Basically, anyone who can be caught by his barrel, his ultimate, the Wandering Keg, he can pick people off so easily. And then he's this nice big tanky frontline. He's really good against mages in general as well. He does fear CC though, so he can be counterpicked. But I'm going to put him in tier 2, probably at the end of tier 2. I think if you get a good team comp for him, he can be very strong, but he can be counterpicked in the draft. And yeah, but there is a place for him though. He can be very strong in the right compositions, and he can be okay in the other ones. But he's definitely not a hero you'll pick up in every single game. Next up we have Cho. In fact, let's do Cho'Gall together. I'm going to put them in tier 2 together. Cho'Gall, they have a very particular niche in the draft. You need people that can pick him together, so it's quite rare to see. But because of that, it does give you a really nice advantage in the draft, because it takes people by surprise. In fact, every game I've played against Cho'Gall, the Cho'Gall has actually won. People duo queuing as Cho'Gall, like these just only Cho'Gall duo queue players. It can be a very, very nasty combo, especially like if you can even have like a bit of a weaker player on Gall and a stronger player on Cho, and it works so well because Cho is doing all the driving, as it were. It kind of counteracts the weaknesses that the weaker player might have, and it gives you a nice little advantage. I think Cho'Gall can be very powerful. Now, the only issue is if you pick them early in the draft, they can be counterpicked, most definitely. And yeah, it makes it a little bit awkward for your teammates to pick around you. Because again, you have to lock in the two at the same time and such. So it can be awkward to fit into your draft, but when you do fit it in, and it takes your opponent by surprise, it can be absolutely deadly. I've seen them win games just by themselves. They're pretty brutal. Next up, we have Chromie. Chromie, I really like Chromie. She's definitely hard to play, but she's a good all-around hero. I think she has a lot of burst damage. She can be very, very dangerous. Her wave clear isn't great, that's for sure. But you know what? I'm going to put her in tier 2. I think she's pretty average. And yeah, like I think Chromie is a good solid choice for a nice ranged assassin, especially when you want some blow up, or if they've got immobile squishy heroes in the back. If they've got a lot of blinks or dodges and stuff, she's not good. But if they've got some immobile heroes, then she's going to just wreck face. Next up we have Dahaka. I'm really not sure about Dahaka. He's got a global, which is pretty awesome. I think he could be very strong on some maps. I just haven't seen Dahaka's do that fantastically well. I'd be curious to see, and I've never seen it yet, is a double warrior composition with Dahaka as a bruiser. I think that could be pretty good, because he actually does a lot of damage when you leave him to it, and that global presence, and he's got very good wave clear too when he talents into it. I think it could be kind of decent. I'm going to put him in tier 2. I've not seen him work very well in Hero League myself, but I think he should work fairly well. So I'm kind of keeping an open mind about him. I suppose he's fairly difficult to play though, and he's an unusual pick, so you won't see him too often, but keep an open mind about him. I think he might be better than people realize. Next up we have Diablo. He's pretty damn good. He does a lot of damage for a tank, and he's just very naturally tanky with his huge health pool. He's got 2 very good heroics. I like him. I'm going to put Diablo in tier 2. I don't think he's a tier 1. I think he's definitely a tier 2, looking for maybe some more of those pickoffs or just like more damage. I think he fits nicely as well in both a solo warrior and a double warrior composition. He's not as consistent though as some of the other solo warriors out there. Again, he brings a lot of, let's say, single target CC with his base kit, whereas I think most other solo warriors tend to bring more AoE CC in their base kit than he does. But I think he's still in a pretty good spot, Diablo. And yeah, he's a strong contender for a warrior to bring on your team. Next up we have ETC. ETC is without shadow of a doubt tier 1. He is so strong. His early game ganks are just insane. He can win team fights. He can win games with Mosh Pit. Now he is squishy. He is a little bit tricky to play. He's definitely not a hero you want to be played by a noob. Let's put it that way. But he's very, very strong. Definitely one of the most common second ban phase picks. Again, it's tricky to pick him early in the draft because he can be countered. You just get they'll pick up a lot of heroes like Ming with Wave of Force or whatever, like Falstad with Mighty Gust. The enemy team will just pick up a ton of heroes with basically silences or interrupts or stuns. They'll pick a whole team of heroes that can stop his mosh pit, at which point the ETC becomes a lot less valuable. So it's difficult to pick him early in the draft, but like if you sneak him in late in the draft, he becomes lethal if they don't have anything to deal with him. And for that reason, you'll nearly always see this guy banned in the second ban phase, or if not, he'll probably be picked up. But yeah, he's good. It's just difficult to get him, but when you do get him, and it works, he is tier 1 without shadow of a doubt. Speaking of someone who's tier 1 without shadow of a doubt, here's Falstad. Falstad is absolutely insane. He's an assassin. He's got great wave clear. He has a global mobility, just baseline, which is extremely powerful. And then he's got Mighty Gust, which is one of the best utility heroics in the game. You can just set up kills. You can save bosses. You can save your teammates from horrible engage. He is just so good. He's so versatile, so flexible, and he does like solid damage as well. He's definitely a top pick for assassins. Always scared when I see Falstad on the enemy team. Unfortunately, Gazlo. Unfortunately for Gazlo, though. Gazlo is the opposite of a Falstad. Gazlo is a tier 3 hero. I mean, there might be a spot for Gazlo on some maps, but at the end of the day, he's a relatively squishy, completely immobile melee specialist, a melee damage dealer. Just so many heroes with more mobility, more burst, just walk all over him. He's got a cool wombo combo, so that's for sure. And, he can work kind of well, and maybe you can bust him out as a surprise, but I really do think he, just by nature of his design, he's just pretty weak. No escape, no mobility. He's just going to get killed. He's going to be very easy pickings, a very easy target for the enemy team. I really can't recommend Gazlo in a Hero League game at all. I think the other two tier 3 heroes, you could pick them up and they could work quite well. I find it hard to see any situation where Gazlo will, though. Greymane, up here. This guy is arguably one of the strongest heroes in the game right now. He is absolutely insane, is Greymane. He's a literal beast. He is an absolute beast. This guy just tears through people. He's very intimidating. Now, the thing is that he is difficult to play, and I've seen a lot of Greymanes just completely flop, be completely useless. He is a hyper carry. When you get this guy on your team, you definitely want to play a supporting team. Double warrior could work well with it, or even double support. With a Tastar or a Tyrande could work very well. Just back this guy up, because when he gets going, he is just a monster. He shreds people alive. He's nuts. He's a lot of different talents he can pick up that mix up his style. He's very strong against mages as well, who typically have no escape and low health pools, and he just eats them for breakfast. Greymane, he's very strong right now. Very, very scary hero. Next up we have Illidan, and Illidan, I feel Illidan has fallen down a bit. I think he's still tier 1, but I don't think he's as strong as he used to be. I think it's really interesting that Illidan Abathur used to be the combo, but I don't know, to me, Illidan Abathur feels pretty weak now. I'm not feeling it at all. Definitely not as much as the Abathur Greymane, which just overshadows the Abathur Illidan in every way, I feel. But Illidan, he's very strong. He can be counterpicked very easily. He's often banned, But I think with the new meta, he might be let through the draft a bit more often, and then he can be exceptionally powerful. He can pick up his reflexive block talent at level 7, which makes him just almost unkillable from these melee assassins or damage dealers who rely on their basic attacks. He's a great hero. He can be counterpicked. It's hard to pick him early in the draft. But I think, people might neglect to ban him out more and more, and then you might sneak him in and do a lot of damage with him. I think he can be very strong. So yeah, watch out for Illidan. He's still up there. He's not. I don't feel like he's as good as he was before, but he's still damn bloody good. Next up, we have got Jaina, and yeah, Jaina has been changed a lot, and I think this is kind of crazy, but I think I'm gonna put Jaina in tier 1. I haven't got to try her myself in a ranked game. I've got to try her in unranked, and she felt pretty powerful. So I'm not entirely sure, but I've heard good things about Jaina. I've heard a lot of people saying that Jaina is a monster right now. She does a lot of damage, an awful lot of damage, and she brings a lot of utility as well. Nice zoning too. Good wave clear. Yeah, apparently Jaina's in a good spot, and the mana changes with the regen orbs, regen globes also helps her mana issues. So yeah, I'm gonna put her in tier 1. It's a bit of a tentative tier 1 placement. Again, I'll sort these as we go through, and we'll fix them up. But yeah, I think that she could well be considered a tier 1 damage dealer right now. I think she could be very powerful. But we'll see how things go, and I might adjust that in the next patch when I get like a better feel for how she is. But this is what I've heard, so I'm placing her there for now. Next up, we have Johanna. Johanna is tier 2. Definitely tier 2. Let's keep Cho'Gall together. She's she's a very solid tank. She's reliable. She brings really good wave clear. So she's good on smaller maps or maps with a couple of lanes that are close together. She can just, rotate between those lanes and clear them up. She's a nice, solid warrior, very difficult to kill, and brings, nice, consistent crowd control as well. She definitely does not shine in the way that a Nubkeks shines, or ETC or Arthas. I think when you compare them to Johanna really, she does pale in comparison. But, nonetheless, if these wires are taken away or they don't fit the composition, Johanna does slot into a lot of compositions. It's just a solid, reliable tank. And very importantly as well, she's very easy to play. It's hard to go wrong with her. Johanna, it's hard to go wrong with her. She's just solid. She's solid all around. She's just not amazing, but she's good. Next up we have Kel'Thas, and this one might blow people's minds, but I'm going to put Kel'Thas at the top of tier 2, but in tier 2 nonetheless. I think Kel'Thas has received nerf after nerf after nerf. I kind of feel like this last nerf is the thing that's knocked him down from being like first pick, first ban, and like almost easy win status to being just a balanced hero. I think he's just a balanced hero now. Again, like we'll see more as we go through this patch, but this has been my impression of Kel'Thas. And again, I did take him out in a game, and I felt a lot weaker in that game. I really did feel a lot weaker because of those changes. The big change, I think, in my opinion, was increasing the cooldown on his gravity lapse, his stun on his E. That increased cooldown, I feel it really hurts. They've really nerfed that meta build, and I think it does knock Kel'Thas down. Now, again, tier 2 doesn't mean they're bad. Tier 2 means that these are pretty good heroes, and I'm putting him right at the top of tier 2. I mean, conceivably, you could put him at the bottom of tier 1 as well. I don't know, but I just don't feel he really shines as much as the tier 1 heroes anymore, but I feel like he's a really strong pick, still. He really hurts melee compositions as well. He does a lot of damage and lockdown and zoning against melee teams. I don't think he is as good as he once was. I think he's fairly balanced, and I think, honestly, I do think that there's other heroes now that you want to be banning and picking first before Kel'Thas. I really do. I don't think he deserves the same status as heroes like Falstad or Greymane or Illidan, whatever, anyone like that. Another thing that might blow your mind is the Kerrigan. Kerrigan, oh my god. Kerrigan is at the moment, in my opinion, the strongest hero in the entire game. I know your minds have just been blown. You're going crazy. You're saying, Nubkeks, you're crazy. What are you talking about? A couple of weeks ago, you would have been right. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said, don't pick Kerrigan ever. Kerrigan she loses games. She's tier 3. She's too inconsistent. Way too inconsistent. Yes, the pro players can play her, and it works out well, but not for us, not for most people, not for anyone in Hero League, really. She's just too difficult, too inconsistent, and it's not going to be good enough. But the changes Blizzard brought in, just the number changes, just boosting her base stats, lowering her mana cost, just increasing her damage all around. It's just, she's nuts now. She is absolutely terrifying to play against. She does so much damage. She hits so hard. Like, yes, her combo is somewhat inconsistent, somewhat difficult to hit. It can be dodged. But when she does hit it, people just explode. She hits so hard. And she's pretty damn tanky now as well. They've improved her shield talents and her base health. She's just a nightmare. You know, I've played a game against her. Again, we did a video of it, playing a game against her, and it was so scary. It was like, you can't go up against her in the lane. She's just got this big shield. She does so much damage. It's just, you can't fight her. You can't trade her. She just crushes you. She is so scary. She's also the top win rate in the game across all leagues, all skill levels right now. She is the strongest hero. I think you really want to ban her. You know, take that spot that was reserved for Keltis before, stick Kerrigan in instead. You want to ban her in the first banning phase. Unless you're going to first pick her, you don't want to deal with her. She's way too much hassle. Just get rid of her. She's too strong. She's going to be nerfed, almost undoubtedly. She's just crazy right now. Stay away. Danger, stay away. The Queen of Blades is back, everyone. Next up, we've got Kharazim. Kharazim, I think he's one of the most difficult supports to play, but if you got someone who's good at them, good at him, and they're a good player, I think he can be tier 1. I think he can be. In fact, that's difficult. You know what? I'm going to put Kharazim down. I'm going to put him down here, actually. I'm going to put him just behind Keltis, top of tier 2. I think he's a really good hero all around. I think he very much struggles, and this is something that happens as well. In Hero League teams, they'll often draft like 3 squishy ranged heroes, and then your presence in the team fight is so bad. And in that sort of situation, Kharazim is going to be terrible, right? Because you got 3 squishy heroes. They're like standing in the back. You've got 1 warrior up the front trying to tank everything. It's like when Kharazim in that situation cannot get in to get his basic attacks off and get the heals off. It's so difficult. He gets focused down so much. But if you got a good team, if you got a good team composition and good presence in a team fight, then Kharazim, he can get a lot of basic attacks off. Then he becomes very strong. He's got good AoE healing. Divine Palm is really good. 7-sided Strike is really good. He's nice and varied. I'm not sure about Insight, the new level 1. It's like, late game, it's insane. It's so strong later in the game, but your early game is so weak. I'm not sure. I've tried him a couple of times on Sky Temple, where you've got a big freaking punching bag. Probably also a similar-ish thing on something like Battlefield of Eternity, though that map can end very quickly. But yeah, if there are sort of like punching bag mobs that he can beat up, I think he could be quite good with like Insight. But yeah, I'm going to put him at tier 2. I think he's a bit difficult to play, but I think he's a really, really solid support. But just be careful with the team compositions. Next up, we have Leoric. And again, Leoric, like Kerrigan, a couple of weeks ago, I would have said tier 3, terrible hero, easy win, GTFO, no, oh my god. I would celebrate if I saw him on the enemy team. I would cry if I saw him on mine. But Leoric got buffed, and Leoric is actually he's doing pretty well right now. I'm still skeptical, but I'm going to put him in tier 2 up here. I think Leoric is a really solid bruiser. I don't think he's as good as the other bruisers overall, but he's damn strong. Also, again, like I said, Hero League, people like to draft squishy assassin teams, and he's not as good against squishy assassin teams. He's very strong if they've got like double warrior, or if they're running another bruiser. He can be very strong against them. He does a lot of damage, he gets a lot of healing, and his Entomb heroic, if they are vulnerable to Entomb, it can be devastating. And he's just solid in the lane as well. He can be very strong, but he is a bit team composition dependent too. But Leoric, I mean, if you watch the European regionals, Leoric was picked all the time. People are starting to think this guy's really good. The buffs have really helped him. So I'm keeping an open mind about Leoric. I think he could be pretty good. One thing I'll say is that I don't think reanimation, I think like a W build, like get the level 1 W talent, I think is the way to go. Because like the 13 and 16 W talents that do more damage when it's fully channeled and reduce the cooldown for every second it's active. I think, getting the increased range in W then at level 1 is really strong. I think reanimation is not good anymore. I think that makes him more consistent. I think he could be very powerful, but again, just look and see, okay, do they have tanky heroes that are vulnerable to Leoric? Don't run him as a solo warrior, please. He's a bruiser. He's not a solo warrior at all. No, please no. Run him as a bruiser. especially if they've got double warrior or warrior and a bruiser themselves. Are they vulnerable to Entomb? Do we have follow-up for the Entomb? If yes, Leoric could be insane. He brings good wave clear. He's just really solid. Next up, we have Lily. I'm going to put Lily in tier 3. I'll put her at the top of tier 3, though. I really don't like Lily much. I used to like her, but I've just fallen off her. One of the big issues is that I think Brightwing does everything Lily does, but better. Okay? Brightwing does everything Lily does, but better. The problem with Lily, she's got really nice sustained healing. She actually does pretty good damage for support, so that's something, I guess. And she brings a blind. So, I mean, the blind is good against melee assassins, but then she's also squishy enough, and she doesn't have burst healing. And again, you really need some burst healing to deal with melee assassins. The blind only does so much, and it's not good against all of them. Whereas Brightwing, for example, in comparison, Brightwing does, similar sustained healing just naturally. But Brightwing also brings, Pixie Dust, which, gives block, which is really good against melee assassins. And from level 13 also applies Spell Shield, which is just insanely useful. Polymorph, in my opinion, is blind, but much, much, much better. It's much better than Lily's blind Polymorph. It's so strong. And yeah, then Brightwing brings global presence on top of that. I think Lily has a place. Also think that she's really good if you're not comfortable with supports, because she's rather easy to play. But in general, I think Lily, she just pales in comparison to the other supports like Karazim and like Brightwing. I don't think she's as good. Next up, we've got Li Ming. I'm gonna put Li Ming at the bottom of tier 1. I think Li Ming she's very strong. I think she's balanced. Like, I really do think she's balanced. I don't think she's overpowered. But that being said, she is a high skill cap hero, but she's also a hero that you can do very well with, even if you're not that great on them. Whereas like some other melee assassins, like like Greymane, for example, or Falstad, or Illidan, or Kerrigan, a lot of these require more skill to be good at a baseline thing. I think even if you're not great, Li Ming can be quite effective in your hands. So that instantly makes her tier 1. Even at high level play, you still get some players that aren't so high level, let's put it that way, but they can still succeed and do well, even with Li Ming. I think she's just really consistent, really strong, brings a lot of team fighting power to your team, and a lot of poke. She can be very effective on maps where poke is effective. Her poke and her range is fantastic. So like Towers of Doom or Cursed Hollows or something like that, where poke is really good. She can be very, very strong. I just think she's very solid. Now, bear in mind as well, Jaina and Li Ming get like hard countered by Nubarak, which is why Nubarak is tier 1 as well. Dampen magic plus those beetles, those goddamn beetles block their skill shots. They find it really hard to kill them because, again, they have this, this ability damage burst, which he counters with dampen magic. And yeah, I mean, that's one of the problems with these two heroes in particular, Jaina and Li Ming, is that if you pick them early in the draft, Nubarak kind of counters them super hard. But yeah, if the enemy team isn't going to get their hands on a Nubarak, then Li Ming can be very, very powerful indeed. She can be very powerful. Just a nice, solid, consistent assassin. That's what I think about Li Ming, so that's why she's at the bottom of tier 1. Next up, we got the Lost Vikings. I'm going to put the Lost Vikings in tier 2. Probably fairly up high in tier 2, actually. The thing about Lost Vikings is that they require a specific team comp to play with them. You need 4 strong heroes. Like, you need a composition that's really strong with just the other 4 heroes. And they need to play it in a specific way. They need to let the Vikings soak the lanes while they roam around basically as a 4-man team and do a lot of damage. The question is your team able to do that? And they can also be counterpicked by kind of hunting heroes like Zeratul, Tracer. Thrall's even pretty good against them. So, I mean, they can be hit or miss. They can be counterpicked, but they can be exceptionally strong, especially on certain maps as well. They are map dependent too. So, Garden of Terror, Towers of Doom, Dragonshower. There's a lot of maps I think that they're very good on. They don't often get played either. And I mean, you can really take enemy teams by surprise sometimes if you bust the Lost Vikings out as like your final pick on one of the maps where they're good but not commonly played. They'll often be first picked on Garden of Terror, where they're definitely worth it. But yeah, they can be very good. It just needs skill. It needs a good team to play with them. But they're a very strong hero. Maybe not the most consistent because it does demand quite a lot of skill from your team. But when you get that, they can be exceptionally good. Next up, we have Lieutenant Morales. I'm going to put Lieutenant Morales. I'm going to put her down in tier 3. I'm going to put her above Lily, actually. I think she's a bit better than Lily, personally. It's one of those things that, like, Lieutenant Morales, she can be counterpicked very easily, but she's vulnerable to dive, and her AoE healing isn't great. But, I mean, her single target is pretty insane, and her laning is pretty insane as well. I think she can be really good. I think she's actually underestimated. I think, at lower levels of play, people are terrified of Morales. I think at higher levels of play, they kind of assume that, oh, well, you can just counterpick her, she's not a big deal. And that doesn't always work very well, it kind of sneaks by sometimes. So I think Morales is good. You know what, let's be fair to Lily. We'll put Lily a little bit higher, because Lily is kind of easier to play and more consistent, I suppose. But I do think Morales is stronger than people realize. But until they realize it, I'm going to leave her still at tier 3. She can be counterpicked, but I think she can be really powerful. Like, she's kind of scary. Your mindset going into a game has to change to deal with a Morales. She's really annoying to deal with, and that should make her very powerful. I think she's not as popular as she deserves to be. I suppose part of the issue is, obviously at the moment, and this actually probably justifies the tier 3 more than anything, is that you've got several of these melee assassins who can dive very hard. Like, you've got a lot of dive heavy heroes here, a lot of AoE heroes here at tier 1 that really make life very difficult for Morales. So do bear that in mind, but I think she can be stronger than she seemed to be, but you won't see her very commonly. Next up we have Linara. Linara is definitely going in tier 1. I think Linara is pretty awesome. Again, Lunara's not played that much, but I really like her. She does a ton of sustained damage, a lot of sustained damage, and she combos very well with a lot of other heroes. She's going to combo really well with Jaina and Arthas, because she can pick up a talent at level 13 called Unfair Advantage, which makes her poison do a lot more damage to people who are slowed. And guess what? These heroes are applying constant slows. Awesome. Lunara's gonna do even more damage. She is kind of weak early game, but she scales up crazily into the late game. She did get a little bit of a nerf to her Nature's Culling talent at level 7, which is her bonus damage to non-heroes. But yeah, I mean, she still does a ton of structural damage. She still does a ton of hero damage. I think she's like a really scary, just sustained range damage dealer. I think she's really, really good. Bit difficult to play for sure. But, in the right hands, she's just, again, it's like she adjusts your mindset. When you see her on the enemy team, you kind of have to adjust a bit the way you play to deal with the damage she's just constantly doing. Next up, we've got Malfurion. I really don't like Malfurion. In my opinion, this is going to outrage maybe some people, but I think he's like the worst support in the game. I really don't like this guy at all. Like, his roots are good, and that's fine, but his healing is so slow. It's so slow, and it just doesn't work against all the bursts and lockdown that you typically have in Hero League. It's too slow to work. I don't like him. Maybe people will disagree and they'll say I'm being biased against the poor old Malf over here, but I really don't like him. I feel like he loses games. I don't think he's good. Maybe with Twilight Dream, but he's just immobile. He's squishy. His healing is so slow. And I don't think he's anywhere near as good as most of the other supports in the game. I just think he's very, very underwhelming. Next up, we've got Medivh, and I am a little bit of a Medivh fanboy. I got to admit it. I like this guy. I think he's really nice, and I think he's really good against like these meta heroes that a lot of them. He's probably not good against Illidan, but like he's really good against Kerrigan. So bear that if Kerrigan does come through, pick up Medivh, because Medivh is really good against her. It's like Kerrigan tries to combo someone, you just make him invulnerable. They don't take any damage. No big deal. It's okay. Make him protected. I'm gonna put him up fairly high in tier 2 actually. I'm gonna put him up about here. I think he's really underrated. Again, you fit him into the slot instead of doing like the 3 squishy range damage dealers, pick up Medivh as the third one, because he kind of functions as like a pseudo damage dealer, pseudo supporting hero. He sort of fit, again, if you got a team composition that's good with the Lost Vikings, Medivh is going to fit there as well. I think he's a bit difficult to fit into team compositions. I think people might be still a little bit hesitant to try him out and to play him, and that they're still kind of wrapping their heads around him. But I think a lot of other people feel the same way as well. People think I do think that he's really strong. I've tried him out, and he does a surprising amount of damage now, like more than you think he does. He does, and his utility is really nice. I think Medivh can be really, really strong. I really do. I really do. And definitely pick him up to counter Kerrigan, and you'll be surprised. Um, but yeah, I'll be interested to see if this place remains justified or if he'll climb up. I don't see him going down too much. I think he's good, guys. I think he's really good. Kind of fulfilling that sort of secondary support kind of role. Kind of bringing a bit more damage, and most importantly, that damage immunity. And yeah, I like him. I dig him. I think Medivh is good. Next up, we've got Myrddin. Myrddin, he got changed quite a bit in the patch, and I think it really has helped, most Hero League players. I'm going to put Myrddin kind of solidly up in tier 2. I might even rank him a bit higher than Kelthus. One thing I'm really interested to see about Myrddin. I gotta be honest, I don't play Myrddin much myself. I almost never play Myrddin. But I'm going to try play him a bit more to get a better idea for where to place him in the next one of these. But, I mean, he can build for a lot more damage now. I'm really curious to see how Myrddin would function, like, as a second warrior. Like, going for sort of a damage build, a disruption build. I'm really interested to see that. But I like the sort of flexibility that he has in terms of his builds right now. And he's good against, heroes like Greymane. He's good against these basic attack heroes because he can slow them down, or he can build for damage. He brings nice CC, he's kind of tanky. I think Myrddin's in a pretty good spot. I really do. I don't think he's tier 1. I don't think he kind of compares to like a Nubarak or Arthas or ETC as much, but he's not far off. He's really not far off, and he feels a step above like Chen, Johanna, and Diablo. He definitely feels above them, in my opinion. Really nice, just still a really nice, solid warrior. I'm gonna have to play him more again to get a better feel, but I think he's good. I need to confirm just how good he is. Next up, we have Murky. And you know me, guys, I've got a guide on Murky. It's one of my most favorite videos, and one that people really like, and it's got a lot of views and stuff. I love Murky. Unfortunately, Murky he's just not good right now. He's just really weak right now. The problem is that when I developed my love for Murky, it was in quick match. It was playing games where you're not drafting. The problem with Murky is that in Hero League you are drafting, and there are just so many counters to Murky in the draft right now. And when people see him coming, they counter him so hard. Also, if your support, again, this is a tier list for high level gameplay, your support should be fairly smart. Hopefully they're fairly smart. And Cleanse just completely neutralizes Murky's team fight. His Octograb, he comes in, tries to Octograb someone, and boom, the Cleanse comes out, and suddenly you're left with Murky. He can't pufferfish anything because he can't have Octograb to help back it up. He just gets killed really quickly. It's so hard to pick him because Li Ming, even though she's tier 1, she's usually not I would say now, in my opinion, definitely not worthy of a ban. I would never ban Li Ming over banning Falstad or Kerrigan or Greymane in like that first rotation. Those would be the 3 that I'd probably really be looking at. Or maybe something else depending on what your team is building. But no, I mean, poor Murky, he just gets countered so hard. He gets countered so hard. Maybe with the changes to the patch, you could do some kind of cool split pushing stuff, but I don't see it, and you're going to just create uproar within your own team. They're not going to be happy playing with Murky. I don't think he's that strong. I'm sorry. Sorry, Murky. Rest in peace. Next up, we have Nazeebo. Range specialist. Very solid, consistent, sustained damage dealer from range. And also, hugely important with Nazeebo, he's very easy to play, and I think that contributes hugely to his what has been a consistently very high win rate. I'm going to put him in up near the top of tier 2, actually, just below Kelthus, which is maybe crazy to some people. But I think he's just a really solid range damage dealer. He really is. He's consistently good. He's very easy to play. It's, so long as you position well, it's hard to be bad at Nazeebo. How do you mess up the spiders? I don't know how you mess up the spiders. It should technically be impossible. How do you mess up the toads? I don't know. That should be impossible as well. He's good at laning. He's got good wave clear. He can be very annoying on certain maps, like, again, Towers of Doom or Cursed Hollows, where people are trying to, cap something. They're trying to channel something, and he just interrupts them over and over again. And it's the spiders, and you can't do anything about it. Now, I do expect an Nazeebo rework to come very soon because he's a silly design, in my opinion. He's just too... the hero plays himself, in my opinion. It plays himself. So I do expect him to be reworked very soon, but until then, at the moment in this patch, he's a good solid hero, and his win rate shows that. And yeah, I mean, even in Master, Grandmaster, you get a lot of people who aren't great, really. It's a very broad skill range, all the same, even if it looks good. And yeah, people can excel in Nazebo that would struggle on harder assassins. Next up, we have Nova. And I have a soft spot for Nova. I do. I think Nova is better than people give her credit for. I think she is. All the same, I think, again, she'll just create uproar in these sort of high level Hero League games. She'll create uproar in your team. People don't like seeing Nova. Again, it's one of those things, the meta, people can be biased towards certain heroes. Let's put her at the bottom of tier 2. I think she's still a perfectly acceptable range damage dealer. She's kind of similar to Chromie in that sense. She can blow people up. She can be very powerful, very strong in the right hands. And I've seen a lot of top level players, like absolutely top level players, just deleting face with her. I remember I did my video the other day talking about kind of skills at high levels and such and all that, and who is trash, I think the video was called, kind of sarcastically or provocatively. But I remember one of the players there was like a main Nova, and he's like in the top 50 players of the game, and he pretty much only plays Nova. And I was like, wow, okay, that's kind of nuts. This guy loves Nova. I think she'd be really good. Again, I think it's one of those things as well that, you have to be a bit subjective with this, and you have to say that, okay, perception is important, and that even if a hero is technically good, if people perceive that hero as bad, they'll get negative, they'll go on tilt, and they'll play badly. So that even if your hero is actually quite strong, it might put your teammates off, and they might play badly. And that's something to bear in mind. I think that happens with Nova, but I do think she's kind of solid, and I'd like to see more of her. Next up, we've got Raynor. I think Raynor's in a sort of similar spot. I put Raynor in tier 3. I value him a little bit less than Nova. I feel like they do similar things. Yeah, I prefer to see Nova than a Raynor, honestly. And again, people love Raynor. I think Raynor is solid. I think he's good. I think like he fits well, like say against Tracer or something like that, because he's good against Tracer. And he can be good against like sort of a double warrior thing. He can be pretty good. That's for sure. Just double warrior is kind of rare, unfortunately. It shouldn't be, but it is. But yeah, Raynor's he's pretty decent. Again, he's like tier 3, but he's pretty decent. He has really bad wave clear. And yeah, he's kind of immobile. He can be blown up and killed depending on the team composition. I think he's good. Like, I've seen him absolutely wreck face sometimes. I've also seen him just fail horribly. I feel like his lack of wave clear really hurts. But I think he can be good. I think he can be good. So he's sort of tentatively in tier 3, but he's not terrible by any means. I feel like assassins especially are very contested things. Like, for example, picking Raynor instead of Nova, or Raynor instead of Chromie, who are like the other two assassins I've placed here, just a bit above him. It's like, I'm more scared of these. I'm like, Raynor, I'm like, alright, I don't have to worry about it too much. Raynor's not going to do anything scary. It's just, he's like this high damage dealer in team fights. That's all I gotta watch out for. Whereas like Nova and Chromie, it's like, it's just something you have to worry about for the whole frickin' game. It's like, you have to worry about their ganks, you have to worry about their poke. You don't have to worry about anything with Raynor, because he's just this guy running at the back of his team who's got long range basic attack, but he's not doing anything fancy. He's not like surprising you. He's not bursting you down. He's not putting any massive pressure on you. He's just a good, team fighting hero. So, tier 3. Next up, we got Rhaegar. No doubt here, Rhaegar is tier 1. Let's put him up here. I think he is the best support in the game. I think he's really good. Again, we'll still juggle these around a little bit, but he's the best support in the game in my opinion. He's got good AoE healing. He's got great wave clear. He's got great single target healing with his heroic ability. And yeah, he's nice. He's strong. He's really strong still. He does everything well. He does everything well. He really does. And he's just great. And he's going to be extremely contested. Often banned again in the second ban phase as well, because people prefer to give someone else. It's the other supports just don't shine as much as he does. But yeah, tier 1. He's great. Next up we have Rexxar. Rexxar's got a good win rate, but he's almost never played. I'm not sure about Rexxar. Like, I feel like he should be pretty decent, but at the same time, I also feel like he shouldn't be. I'm going to put him in tier 3 right here. The thing about Rexxar is he's not good enough to be a solo tank. He doesn't do enough to be a solo tank. But then do you bring him as a secondary tank? Because his damage is pretty low. But then again, he's a lane bully at the same time, and that's his strength. And he's not going to lose the lane, probably. I think he can be good. Maybe on maps like Dragonshire or Blackheart's Bay, he could be very strong. But I don't know. I don't know about Rexxar. I've got two minds. He's got a really good win rate, but I'm not entirely sure how that's possible, basically. So he's in tier 3, but I'm open-minded about it. I think he could be really good. You know what? Maybe even he does belong in tier 2. I don't think he's tier 1. But yeah, I'm in two minds about Rexxar. I do think, though, it's difficult to fit him into a composition. And that might be holding him back a little bit. But yeah, I'm open-minded about that. Next up, we have Sergeant Hammer. Sergeant Hammer is another hero that I quite like, that a lot of people don't. I'm going to put Sergeant Hammer in tier 3. I'm going to put her above Lily. I actually quite like the Hammer. I actually do. I actually think Hammer is pretty decent. And people can just, like, they see Hammer and go, easy win. And then they get kind of a bit taken aback. They get a bit shocked. They get a bit off, like, they find it a bit off-putting. They get kind of wrecked by her and they don't know what to do. I think Sergeant Hammer is pretty solid. There is a lot of competition, though, again, from other heroes. And similar to Raynor, it's kind of like she's at the back, she's got a lot of range, but she's not going to surprise you. She's not going to gank you. She's not going to worry you too much. She's kind of, you do kind of know what to expect from her, and she's kind of consistent damage. But I think she's not bad. I think she's not bad, but bear in mind that people will rage if you pick Sergeant Hammer, because she's perceived as being much worse than she is. So that's why she's in tier 3. Next up, we have Sonya. I think Sonya is so strong. Sonya is really, really good. One of the best heroes in the game. No doubt she's in tier 1. She's a bruiser. She does a lot of damage, but then she's also very tanky. She's this tanky frontline. And not only is she doing a lot of damage herself, she disrupts what the enemy is trying to do because she's scary. She's this big, scary hero that's running in your face. And a lot of heroes need to run away from her because she's scary. She's big, she's scary, she does a lot of damage. She's also really good at taking merc camps, which is nice, but that also, because she enables your team, she functions as, she's a really high damage warrior. She does what warriors are supposed to do. She disrupts the enemy team, and then she enables your teammates to do their job better because, again, the enemy team is disrupted, and she's so strong, Sonya. She's very strong. Now, I think one of the issues with Sonya is that people know she's so strong, and you get a lot of people who aren't actually very good at Sonya picking her up and kind of failing on her. She is, I suppose, somewhat difficult to play. Very aggressive hero, and aggression is her best defense. It can be hard to play, but yeah, I think she's still really good. She can do mercs really well. She's so powerful. She really is so powerful. I mean, I've even reached the stage in Hero League where I know she's the best pick sometimes, but I just won't pick her because I get bored playing her so often, because she is so often just unbelievably strong. Next up, we have Stitches. Stitches is a really nice, solid tank. You know what? I'm going to put Stitches actually a bit higher than these other ones. I'm going to put Stitches. I'm going to put him up here. I actually think Stitches is really good. I really do. I think Stitches is pretty great. The thing about Stitches is his hook. The hook can win games. It really can. You just hit someone with that. They don't expect it. Boom. They're dead. Awesome. Crazy. And that's it. And especially once you get level 16, you get the longer range hook. It can be, you get to late game, even if you've lost the whole game up to that point, he throws out the hook, boom, you kill that person, and it's like, well, hey, we kill that person in the late game, and I guess that means we kind of just turn the game around, and we start winning, or we do win the game. It's kind of crazy. That's why Stitches is so strong. Again, he's very good against immobile range damage dealers. People who are vulnerable to the hook, I mean, like Jaina, Linara, Kelthus, Nazebo, Chromie, Nova if she gets hit. Like, a lot of these heroes can be very, very vulnerable to being hooked. A lot of other heroes do have escapes. That's part of why Ming is good as well. Other heroes will have escapes and they'll be fine, but he really works well, especially if they have like this immobile team that's going to be vulnerable. If they don't have escapes, it can be really good. You also need a bit of follow-up on your team. If you don't have follow-up, it won't be good, because it's like you hook him in. It's like, oh, okay, I hooked him in, but it really doesn't matter. We're not doing any more damage. But yeah, Stitches, he can be really strong. I don't think he's as consistently good as the tier 1 tanks, or the tanks above him, but he's still really good. Next up, we got Sylvanas. Sylvanas is tier 1 in my opinion. In fact, let me rejuggle this tier 1 a little bit, because it should be. We're going to put Falstad up here. Put Illidan above Arthas, maybe. Linara's fine there. Jaina's fine there. This looks pretty good. I'm going to put Sylvanas. No, Sylvanas I think is better than Li Ming overall. ETC, that's tricky. I'll put ETC up here. I'll put Sylvanas up here. Jaina, I'm not sure where Jaina goes. Let's put Jaina up here. Maybe that's better. But yeah, Sylvanas is... She's very, very strong. She's insane on maps which have pushing objectives like Battlefield of Eternity, Infernal Shrines, Tomb of the Spider Queen. She brings nice wave clear, but most importantly, she makes those pushing objectives so much more powerful. I've done videos where we've won Battlefield of Eternity in 8 minutes because we have Sylvanas. You just win the first Immortal, get a level lead, win the second Immortal, push down the whole way to the core, take the core, win the game. It's crazy. She is so strong. And with the minions getting more powerful as well, she's even stronger. I think Sylvanas she's very powerful. The only issue with Sylvanas is that it's like if you start losing the game, she's quite weak. But she's definitely a win more type hero. Once you if you get ahead with Sylvanas, you can really crush and just cement your victory essentially. I think she's really strong. She does good damage as well, and Wailing Arrow is a very powerful teamfight heroic. I think she's great. Tier 1, definitely awesome. Next up we've got Tassadar. Tassadar is nice. He's good solid as a secondary support. He enables melee assassins very much. There's a lot of heroes that get more powerful when you combo them with Tassadar, and Tassadar can be very good in that respect. He does good wave clear as well. And yeah, I think he's good. I think he's solid. I'm going to put him in tier 2. Let's put him right here. Why the heck not? Let's put him right here. Let's move the Lost Vikings up as well. And there you go. Yeah, Tassadar, he's nice. You have to be preemptive, and it seems people maybe struggle with that a bit, but I think Tassadar can be really, really good. He counters stealth if the enemy does have stealth, which is rare, but it can happen. And yeah, he enables a lot of heroes like Kerrigan, Greymane, Falstad, Illidan. A lot of these heroes, Sonya even, a lot of heroes can just play better when they got a double support with Tassadar backing them up. The only thing is, it is difficult to find people willing to play Tassadar sometimes, because of that. But I think he's a really nice hero. I think he should be played more than he is. And yeah, Tassadar, he's good. Speaking of good, the Butcher is not. The Butcher is not. The Butcher is terrible. Oh dear lord, the Butcher is bad. He's really, really bad. Melee assassin, like, he does some things really well. He can like charge in and blow someone up, but he gets killed so easily. He's just so vulnerable. He's like this all-in aggression that can work, but honestly, I feel like in a high-level game, definitely in a top-level game, he's just not going to achieve that. He's going to be crushed. He's not going to achieve it. He's going to fail miserably. Yeah, I don't think the Butcher is ever worth picking, really, in a good level game. He's just going to be wrecked. And yeah, why would you pick the Butcher when you have Kerrigan as an option, or Illidan, or pretty much any other melee assassin is just better, basically. That's the sad truth. Next we got Thrall. Speaking of melee assassins, Thrall is solid. Now, Thrall, just a while ago, Thrall was tier 1, but I have to say, nowadays, I don't think he is. I don't think Thrall is tier 1 anymore. In fact, I'm going to put Thrall, like, down here. I know that's harsh, but I'm just not super convinced by Thrall anymore. The problem with Thrall is that his wave clear is really, really bad. And his damage output is solid, but it's not as high, obviously, as like Greymane or Kerrigan, who they just do more damage. You know, they just do more damage than Thrall does. But Thrall is good, and, you know, one of the things is people are a bit more willing to pick Thrall, I feel. He kind of fulfills a bruiser role. They might not want, like, I rarely see people pick Arthas as like a bruiser, but I see people pick Thrall as a bruiser all the time. But I do think with the minions and with pushing just getting more important in the last patch, I think that Thrall has dropped down because he's so bad at wave clear. He really is so bad. And it's like, yeah, you put him in a solo lane. He's never going to die. He's going to poke the other person out of lane. But his wave clear is so terrible that he's never going to push the lane back. And one of the things I found playing against Thrall is like, you just push him in. Sure, he pokes you down. You just Hearthstone, run back to the lane. And you find Thrall just still in the middle of the lane, desperately trying to clear the wave. He just can't do it. The Sundering, though, is really good, and it helps. It just picks people off. You use it to divide a team, and you get a pick, and it's awesome. His poke is good. His self-sustain is good. He's a good bruiser. His damage is very solid. But it's... I don't know. I just feel like he's not tier 1 for me anymore. But he's very solidly tier 2. He's really good all around. but I just don't think he's as scary as he once was. He's solid. He's really solid, but I just don't feel he brings as much as he used to. Next up, we've got Tracer. I'm going to put Tracer just below Thrall. I think Tracer is really, really nice. I think she's very good. Oh, boy, hello. Did that interrupt the recordings? No, we're fine. Okay, this is a long video, by the way. Holy shit. Tracer is... Tracer's good. She's solid. She's very difficult to play, though. And this is one of the things that annoys me. There's this perception that Tracer is easy to play, and it couldn't be more wrong. I don't know. I've got no idea what the skill floor is like. Maybe she has like a good skill floor and she's easy to do okay with, kind of like Ming. Maybe, I don't know, but she has a very high skill cap, a very, very high skill cap. A good Tracer can be a demon. They can be very effective, but a bad Tracer will just not achieve that much at all. Her damage output is low, but again, she's this disruptive sort of diving force. Can dodge skill shots, so she can neutralize a lot of heroes' damage if she's good and preemptive. She knows what she's doing. Again, she's very strong when you combo her with Tassadar as well. Without Tassadar, she is very squishy. She's somewhat vulnerable. For example, like I used to run her against Kerrigan and be like, this is too funny, Kerrigan can't hurt me. She can't land a combo on Tracer, and it's like, I'll just wreck her. But now Kerrigan can just like cute you and hit you in the face, and it's like, holy shit, there's half my health gone. She's so strong. Oh my god, I'm terrified. But yeah, I think Tracer is really good. Just yeah, she's difficult to play, and her damage output is relatively lowish. But she's very good. She's good. I mean, like the pro teams are playing her, so when you got a high skill here person playing her, she's very good. Next up, we've got Titus. Titus is also tier 2. He's a good, solid range damage dealer. You know what? I'll put him up. I'm not sure where to put him. Let's put Titus right here. So Titus, he's good. He's strong. He's consistent. He's, he's pretty good against divey type heroes. Like Illidan. He's not bad against him. He's very good against, again, double warrior, against bruisers. The only thing is, he can be also at the same time, he can be vulnerable to those heroes. He's the type of hero who wants to stand and shoot. It's like, if you've got Titus and your team just gets kind of overrun and you're just getting pushed back all the time, it's like, you throw down your laser, but your team gets pushed back and your laser gets destroyed. You don't get any value. You just get pushed back. You don't get to ever shoot and use your minigun. You don't get value. But when he does get value, he can be really good. Titus can be really, really good. He's a solid ranged assassin, very solid. And I like him a lot. I think he's great. Next up, we have Terial. Terial is also a very nice tier 2 warrior. Let's pop Terial in here as well. I think this is a good spot for Terial. Sanctification, though, please. Oh my god. If you pick Judgment, you're tier 3. Get out. Get out. It's awful. No, please don't. But Sanctification is very strong. It counters so much. Yeah, I think Terial can be really good. I think it can be really, really good. Obviously, it doesn't bring any strict crowd control. That's his weakness. But Sanctification is just fantastic. You could run him as a bruiser. Potentially, you could run him as like a solo tank with another bruiser. That could work pretty well. Like Terial Arthas, could that work well? I think it could. I think that could be pretty good. I don't know. But yeah, he's pretty good. His wave clear is kind of lacking. Obviously his CC and his ganks and stuff are lacking, but Sanctification is so strong. He's very like a support. He's like a support warrior. That's what he is. He's a hybrid. He's both. He's good. He's good all around. Sanctification just can wreck team. It can win team fights. It's so strong. And I like him. I just feel like the problem with Terial, in my opinion, is I've seen a lot of people pick Terial who don't understand how Terial works, and they run him as like a divey type bruiser, at which point you kind of go, why would you run Terial as a dive type bruiser when you've got heroes like Sonya, like Illidan, like Kerrigan, even Greymane, Myrddin? You got so many heroes that do what you're trying to do better. Please play him as a support, because that's where he's good. Next we've got Tyrande, and Tyrande is very nice. I like Tyrande a lot. I'm going to put her up here. I think she's quite underrated. She's very strong, like on Battlefield of Eternity. It depends. On Battlefield of Eternity, she's like tier 1. On other maps, she's a bit weaker. That's kind of tricky. I do like her. I think she's really strong. You know what? We'll put her just below Leoric. I think that's fine. She's really good. You really want to build like damage Tyrande as well. You want to go owl build. My favorite build is, you go Owls, 1, 4, and 16. You pick up the extra healing at 13. That's a big deal. And then Starfall. You really want to get Starfall because Starfall is so strong. You don't want to pick Shadowstock if you can help it. So you don't really want to run her as a solo healer, though she can be run as a solo healer, but I feel that in comparison to Rhaegar, Brightwing, and Uther, and Karazim, she's not as good at all as a solo healer, but as a secondary healer, she can be really good. And on Battlefield of Eternity, she's tier 1, she's crazy strong. It's like vulnerability, you just kill that Immortal. You push in with the Immortal, you throw down the Starfall, you zone him out, you get so much value. She's very strong. Yeah, she's really good. Again, like against sort of more vulnerable heroes who try to dive your team, you can make them vulnerable. You can throw a Starfall down, which zones out their backline, and yeah, she can be really, really strong. She can churn out crazy hero damage numbers, and all the while being sort of secondary support, giving those heals to help keep people in the fight. I like her a lot. I'm a big Tyrande fanboy. Next up we have Uther. Uther is he is a solid tier 2 hero. Again, I actually have not seen much of him with the changes of the patch. I've seen actually Brightwing kind of take over as the other go-to healer, to be honest. I haven't seen much of Uther, but I think Uther is really good, really solid. I'll put him in put him here maybe. Actually no, let's move him a bit higher. Uther. Let's put Uther here, and bear in mind that, again, this is, compared to Tyrande, he is better solo healer, obviously. The thing about Uther's really nice. The Divine Shield is really strong. That's why I'm kind of hesitating at the moment, because we have, like, these melee assassins who are so strong. When you have these melee assassins, Divine Shield really enables them, and they do a lot of work, like an awful lot of work. They can be very powerful. So that's why I kind of like Uther, and I'm curious to see how he's going to work with the changes to his talents. I kind of feel like the changes to his talents, though, were more of an alternative path as opposed to a better path, so I think his power level is still about the same. I feel like Karazim is more flexible, brings a bit more. I think Rhaegar is better. I think Brightwing is still better, but Uther is good to support your sort of diving melee assassins. He's a really solid pick. Again, it's funny. It's like you'll never pick Malfurion when you can pick these other ones. But yeah, Uther, he's pretty solid. He's solid. He's a solid healer. Next we have Valla. If you know me, Valla is my most played hero. I love her to bits, so I'm kind of biased, and I'm trying not to be biased. I'm gonna put Valla in. I'm gonna put her in like tier 2. Diablo should be higher here. Hang on. Let's put Diablo up. Put Diablo up here. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna put Valla here. I'm gonna put her here. I think Valla is pretty nice. I'm gonna put Chen down here. I think Valla she's a nice sustained damage. I think it's sort of similar thing to like Raynor and Hammer, and is that she's not like gonna surprise you too much, I guess. She's just kind of like safe, consistent range damage, and she's very squishy, so she's vulnerable to being squishy. But I love her, and like I have a crazy win rate on her. Like she just clicks with me for whatever reason. I think she's really good. I think she's got a nice variety of builds, and like she does a lot of like steady, consistent damage. And Reign of Vengeance is a very powerful heroic as well. It can really lock people down and ruin their day. Yeah, I mean, I think Valla is underrated. I really do. But I think you need a fairly skilled. Like she's labeled as an easy hero, and you can do pretty decently with her, but I think she's got quite a high skill cap as well, which I know people will disagree with me on, but then again, I'm the one who's most played on Valla, so I don't know. This is just my opinion. I see a lot of people play Valla, honestly, and I kind of go, you're not playing her to her full potential. I think a good Valla can be very strong, but definitely she doesn't bring like the sort of the X factor, the special factor that a lot of these higher assassins do, but I like her, and a lot of people don't, but I do. Next we've got Zul. Zul is tier 1, no doubt about it. Let's put him up here. Zul is very, very nice. He's just like a melee specialist. Like his damage is a little bit lacking. His team fight is not that strong, but he's able to soak 2 lanes. Some heroes, you say, they're a good solo laner. Well, Zul is a duo laner. Zul can solo 2 lanes by himself if they're close together. So on like the top 2 lanes on Blackheart's Bay, the bottom 2 lanes on Dragonshire. So many maps he can be just insane. Tomb of the Spider Queen just in general. He can be very strong, and again with the minion changes, he just constantly pushes those waves and depletes ammunition and turrets, and he just leaves there and he soaks his team XP, and it's just very good. I think he's really, really good. I need to make this go away. How do I make this go away? Let me if I open up my phone. But yeah, Zul, I think he's really strong. And he's just powerful. He's great. He's a really strong hero. I personally don't like playing him. I find him kind of boring, but I love when I see him on my team. He's pretty good. Next up we have Sagara. And again, Sagara, I think, is really strong. Can we turn these off? Oh, for fuck's sake. Fuck off. Ah, I hate this bullshit. Windows 10, piss off. I hate you. I hate you. Ugh, go away. So, Sagara. I don't know why it won't go away. Sagara here. Let's put her up in like tier 1. Sagara is definitely tier 1. This video has gone downhill because of Facebook interrupting. Yeah, I'm in 2 minds about Sagara. I think that she can be exceptionally strong on certain maps. I think she can be really, really good. I think she can be really, really strong. The big deal about Sagara is I'm not sure between Maw and Nidus Network. That's the thing that I'm not sure about, okay? I'm not sure about it. I don't know whether it's good or it's bad. I love Nidus Network. I really do. I think it's really awesome. She can create so much pressure around the map. I think she's very good on bigger maps. Maybe like Sky Temple, Blackheart's Bay, she's going to be crazy on. I haven't seen many people play her, and I think they're making a mistake. I think she's underrated. I think definitely take the Sagara out for a spin. I think she can be very powerful. And her team fight is weaker than it was before. But once you understand that she's kind of like the Lost Vikings, she's kind of like Abathur, she's more about that map pressure and the map presence. And when you know that she's like that, if your team knows that she's like that, I can't even X these off anymore. Let's just end this video now. She can be really good. We have Zeratul. I'm going to put Zeratul. Zeratul's like, he's tier 2. He's okay. Boom. Oh, look at this. Ooh, it changed position. That's crazy. Yeah, changed position. That's crazy. How the fuck do I... Please let me know how to mute this stuff, like, without having to go into... Facebook during one of these videos, so that I can use this recording method and still do these videos without getting interrupted. How do I silence Facebook preemptively? Please let me know. Zeratul, where did I put him? Tier 2. Yeah, so he's good. He's good against these vulnerable backline heroes, but he's really difficult to play. Oh, for goodness sake. She doesn't shut up, does she? Goddamn women. Zeratul's really nice. He's really solid, but he's very hard to play. I have to say that. He's very difficult to play. I think in the hands of a really good player, he is absolutely beast. But I think in the hands of an average or weaker player, he's gonna kind of fail. You know what? Should I move him down lower? Because he's kind of inconsistent. Oh, I don't know. It's really tough. It really depends on the player's skill for Zeratul. But he can be very good. His ganks can be strong. And he can really wreck like some of these backline heroes. Like he can really wreck like a Jaina or Linara or some of the supports. So these squishier backline heroes, he can counter them so well. Obviously, he's weaker though against like... He's weaker against like Greymane or Kerrigan, or maybe even Falstad a little bit, or Rhaegar, or Bruiser. He's weaker against a lot of the current meta. So he's kind of weak for the current meta, but if it goes a bit off meta and you start seeing some of these squishier backline heroes, I think Zeratul can be very strong. So there you go, guys. That is my tier list. I'm pretty happy with how this is laid out. This is the tier list for the Gul'dan patch. This is what I think. Again, it's my personal opinions. I could be somewhat wrong in these, but it should give you sort of rough guidance on where heroes stack up, and hopefully my explanations have put things a bit more in context. I think if you take it out of context, it's not going to be that helpful. But roughly speaking, you know, when I see heroes in the draft, this is just, I think, is a pretty good ranking of how scared I am of them, you know? And when I see heroes in the draft, this is a good ranking of how scared I am. In fact, let's move Johanna down a little bit. I'm not that scared of Johanna. But yeah, like when I see heroes in this, pretty much in this order, I kind of stop and I look and go, ooh, I'm a little bit scared. You know what? Let's be nice to Thrall. Let's move him up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Like, I see these ones, I kind of go, oh shit. I see, like, these first few, I'm kind of going, oh dear, this is kind of scary. I get down a bit further in here, I'm like, alright, they're solid, but we can deal with them, but they're good heroes. And down here, I'm kind of like, ah, yeah, we can, no problem down here. And up here, I'm like, yeah, they're fine, but I'm not that scared. I think it's a good insight. I hope this was helpful. This video went so much longer than I expected. I thought it was going to be like 20 minutes. I'm sorry, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. I will probably... Again, this is my first tier list, so yeah, this is going to be the longest one. The next ones won't be this long, I promise, I promise. Again, it will just be juggling things around a bit based on each patch. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let me know if you found it helpful. I hope it was helpful. Good insight into how heroes' power levels kind of compare, and then again as we go through each big patch we can juggle people around, and it will just kind of, I hopefully help people deal with these new patches and things like that. But there you go, that is the tier list. Give it a like if you liked it, and give me any feedback if you want to see any feedback. Again, I'm sure most of the feedback will be, it was very long, Kevin, it was so long, why is this video so long? And don't have Facebook popping up, and I know I'll fix that. But yeah, again, the next ones won't be as long because we won't need to go through every hero. We'll just say, okay, boom, you can watch the last video if you want. We're going to juggle people around. This is where people are now. And we can just talk about whatever the 10 heroes or so that actually change. But there you go. My first jab at a tier list. I like the 3-tier thing myself. This suits me, I think. And hopefully it helps you as well. It's a rough guideline, guys. Rough guideline for high-level play. If you want to apply it for low-level play, I don't know if I said this earlier, but let me say it again in case I didn't. I plan to. I don't think I did, though. But as you go down to the lower levels of play, so like, I suppose, Diamond, Platinum, Gold, Silver, Bronze, as the further you go down, basically heroes that are difficult to play will drop down in tiers. Heroes that are easier to play will go up in tiers. That's basically how it works. But here you go. This is my tier list. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all next time for more Heroes of the Storm. Bye-bye.